Hello and welcome to Temple Update. I'm Jade Franks.
And I'm Seth Wozniak. The investigation continues into the death of a man at an off-campus apartment complex. It happened at the Kardon Atlantic Apartments at 10th and Norris. The unidentified man was staying with two friends, and neither of them were present when the accident occurred. A 21-year-old man fell to his death from a fifth-story window at Kardon Atlantic Apartments early Sunday morning. The man was rushed to Temple Hospital where he was shortly pronounced dead. After speaking with current Kardon residents, I soon found out that many did not know of the incident.
Well, I actually didn't hear about the incident on Saturday until someone from home actually texted me and asked me if someone died in my apartment building.
I didn't receive any notification until someone asked me about it like a few days later, and I saw like the news report on NBC 10.
NBC 10 reports that the man, whose name has not yet been released, was not a Temple student, but rather visiting friends for the weekend. Police further stated he was alone in their room at 12:30 a.m. Sunday, April 13th, when he fell to his death. Being the second incident involving the Kardon Apartments this academic year, some students found the lack of information alarming.
It's not my business personally, but I would like to be informed that there's some kind of crisis going on.
It's a little ridiculous that I wasn't notified. Like, I live here, so I feel that I should be made aware of things that go on, especially if it's something like someone dying.
It would have been nice to have known, but there's not really anything I can do about it, and it's not going to change my living situation.
The fall marked the second death to have happened near Temple's campus in the last year. For Kardon Apartments, this was the second incident in the 2013-14 school year. Last September, 21-year-old Landon Nuss was found dead after falling down the stairwell in the complex. The medical examiner's office is investigating if alcohol was the factor for the fall. PMC Property Group, the owner of Kardon Atlantic, was unavailable to comment about the incident.
This incident comes nearly a year after the death of Westchester University student Ali Wozniak. Wozniak was visiting her boyfriend and fell 40 feet to her death off an off-campus apartment rooftop on North 18th Street. Days after the incident, Temple University announced the cancellation of its annual spring fling. This year marked the beginning of a new Temple spring tradition. The Cherry On experience kicked off Saturday at Giese Field at 1 o'clock. Students were required to show Temple ID to enter the event, but were allowed to invite a guest that was not a Temple University student. Students then got to enjoy a free day of fun with laser tag, tie-dyeing, a food truck festival, music, giveaways, and much more.
Temple's football team will soon have a new turf field to practice on, but will they also have to find a new nest to call home? Updates Rebeccah Hendrickson is live at Lincoln Financial Field with more on the story.
That's right, Seth, and Temple football has been calling the Linc home. It's right behind me, home since 2003. Now, with the current contract set to expire after the 2017 season, Temple football has been rumored to be looking at different options for a new home field.
I think it would be more convenient for students, and I also think that in the long run it might contribute to the school's revenue.
I just don't want to see a ton of money put into a stadium for a football team that might fail.
While students may have mixed reactions to the possibility of a new stadium, President Theobald says it may be the best option. He says the Eagles want to bump the rent from $1 to $2 million for 6 home games, along with a $12 million upfront payment to use the Linc. He told the Philadelphia Inquirer, if your landlord wants to substantially increase your rent, you check your options. But the Eagles say they haven't spoken to Temple about contract negotiations in more than a year. Eagles president Don Smolinski said in part, Theobald's statements to the press do not reflect their conversations with Temple reps. The university declined Temple Update's request for further comment, but it's not the first time there have been rumors of a new stadium. Temple Update reported in the fall of Temple's interest in purchasing William Penn High School, an 11.5-acre property just blocks south of campus.
With the 2020 plan ending, the time seemed right for us to ask questions about whether there may be opportunities beyond our current footprint, and that's part of what we're looking at right now.
But with the elimination of 5 sports, some athletes are questioning the university's timing of a possible new stadium.
I don't think it should come as an expense to other athletes that your facilities get an upgrade. I feel like the money should be found somewhere else other than cutting other teams and ruining other athletes' dreams.
Now, if the Eagles are requesting a hefty rent increase in the coming years, then with all the decisions that Temple has been making regarding budget when it comes to athletics, then they would have to be at least considering other options. Reporting live from Lincoln Financial Field today for Temple Update, I'm Rebeccah Hendrickson.
Last month, Temple Update reported on the possibility of SEPTA returning to its 24-hour schedule on the weekend. While SEPTA has now announced that it will temporarily restore all-night subway service on Fridays and Saturdays beginning in June for the Broad Street and Market Frankfurt line. The program will be an experiment from mid-June until Labor Day. Meanwhile, SEPTA and members of the Transit Workers Union Local 234 are currently at a standstill with contract negotiations. The union still has not given a date to go on strike.
Temple Update has also been following the incident regarding a Temple student who was attacked with a brick last month. Philly.com reported that the 3 girls who were taken into custody each waived their right to a preliminary hearing. The girls are currently being tried as adults, but their lawyers are pushing to have the case moved to a family court where they would be tried as juveniles. To look back on past stories about SEPTA and the brick attack, along with staying up to date on new details, check out templeupdate.com.
Well, Seth, I hope you didn't get used to this warm weather.
Yeah, Jade, it's a shame. I just unpacked my shorts, but I might have to pack them up again. Let's go to Melissa.
It is currently beautiful out, and it is especially nice after the rain we saw on Tuesday. As you can see here, students are ready for the warm weather after being out all day on Monday basking in the warm sunlight. We'll be seeing lots of sunshine, and it is currently a high of 48. As the day continues, it'll warm up to a high of 54. Frank the frat boy has on a light jacket because unfortunately, although it is beautiful out, it is not as warm as we saw last week. And although the temperatures are warming up, there is still a bit of the chill in the air. With the sunshine overhead, it is the perfect day to come out and enjoy Bury Beach. So I won't spend too much time relaxing as I'll be joining you guys a little bit later in the studio. Seth and Jade, back to you.
Temple students are participating in Thank a Donor Week, where students can acknowledge and thank university donors. The event is sponsored by the Office of Institutional Advancement and is being held at the Bell Tower all week. Students can connect with donors and write personal thank you notes to those who generously donate to Temple University. Those who participate are entered to win prizes such as a Visa gift card and Temple gear. Tomorrow is the last day to stop by the Bell Tower and write a thank you note for the continuing support from our donors.
This week it was all about thanking those who gave Temple University donations, but last week it was all about fundraising for the law school. Nick Cutrona is live in the newsroom with the details.
Hi Seth, the Temple Law Foundation welcomed a very special VIP to the Liacouras Center. Former President Bill Clinton's motorcade sped into the Liacouras Center garage while students waited outside to hear him speak Thursday evening. Clinton's speech benefits the Temple Law Foundation scholarships and the Barrick Public Interest Fellowship. I was there to talk to students about some expectations for the former head of state's address.
I think it's pretty cool because we get like big people, but never really like really big people here.
You know, I'm going in here with no expectations, but looking forward to hear everything.
I mean, I think it's a big deal considering the area is not the nicest to have someone who is as influential as Bill Clinton to come to an area like this. I think it shows promise for the area, and maybe that it's going to get better.
President Clinton spoke about a couple key topics during his speech, and we wanted to highlight some of those for our viewers who weren't able to make it to the event. First of all, the speech was part of the Law Foundation's guest lecture series. So we talked a lot about the importance of law education in creating a generation of future leaders. In the question and answer portion of the event, Clinton told former Governor Ed Rendell that we have not yet found the key to creating real long-term job growth. Lastly, he spoke a lot about the Clinton Foundation, which may be a key talking point if his wife, Hillary Clinton, decides to run for president in 2016. Thanks, guys. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Nick. With commencement right around the corner, graduating students are preparing for their important walk across the stage. Although most will be wearing black robes on May 15th, a collaboration on campus will have some students glowing in green. Updates Aryann Cuda has more.
Volunteers stood outside the Office of Sustainability, offering students recycled office supplies to kick off Campus Sustainability Week. The The pop-up office swap event was an effort made by the Computer Recycling Center and the Office of Sustainability. However, this is not the first time the two have collaborated on a project. Both departments have recently partnered up to provide the class of 2014 with the option of borrowing a free recycled graduation gown. Since January of 2010, the university decided to go green and offer graduation gowns made from recycled plastic. Since then, the Office of Sustainability and the CRC have worked together to collect lightly used gowns donated by recent Temple graduates. Both departments aim to reuse and recycle anything they can and thought the gown swap was a perfect opportunity to collaborate once again. Kathleen Grady, director of the Office of Sustainability, says the partnership was really only natural.
It's a natural fit because our office focuses on all aspects of sustainability. One of them is waste minimization and recycling. And the CRC is really looks at the same thing, like waste minimization.
There is a limited supply of graduation gowns, and registration for a gown is based on a first-come, first-served basis.
Kathleen Grady further explains just how important it is for others to donate their gowns so that the program can continue for many years to come.
This isn't just about sustainability, it's about giving back to, it's kind of like your first alumni give.
For more information on how to donate or to request a recycled gown, students can stop by the Office of Sustainability located on Leocoris Walk. Reporting for Temple Update, I'm Aryann Cuda.
Now it's time to travel around the world and hear from one of our reporters abroad in Japan. Baseball is big in Japan, but how exactly is it different from here in America? Update's Tokyo correspondent Adam Glazer took us out to the ball game in Yokohama.
Baseball may be America's favorite pastime, but in Japan, the love of the game is equally as real. I attended a Friday evening game where the Yokohama Bay Stars were fighting to climb out of last place in the division against the Tokyo Swallows. While the attendance of the game was moderate, the crowd's enthusiasm was very high. One of the biggest and immediately noticeable differences from American baseball is the level of crowd participation. The chanting from the stands is incessant, and every player has their own theme song. Not a recycled pop song, but an original tune that the fans all know by heart. The teams also have cheerleaders that come out in between innings, and one can still buy a hot dog and popcorn, but also sushi, gyoza, beef bowls, and other Japanese culinary staples. TUJ student Ryan Raisley is an avid Yankees and baseball fan from Nazareth, Pennsylvania. Friday's game was his first look at Japanese baseball.
Food is still expensive, and they did like the t-shirt thing where they fire the memorabilia into the crowd, so that was similar. They still had people walking up and down the stands selling food and whatnot for baseball park prices. There weren't a whole lot of differences that I noticed in terms of how the game was actually played, except maybe that they didn't really mark errors a whole lot.
Baseball is Japan's #1 sport, with many elite high schools specializing in producing top athletes. Reporting from Yokohama, I'm Adam Glazer.
Temple's pharmacy students are heading east and ready to lend a helping hand. I spoke to TRIP members and got the inside scoop on what their mission in Vietnam is.
For the group of Temple University School of Pharmacy students going on their annual medical mission trip. Like they have done in the past, the group of pharmacy students will travel to southern Vietnam to provide the natives with free healthcare treatments and medication that would otherwise be inaccessible due to financial burdens.
We were able to treat over 3,000 patients with orthopedic illness, as well as help fit over 400 prosthetics for patients who have lost limbs due to silent landmines, infection, and diabetic complications.
Since 2012, Temple's students and faculty partnered with Mercer University have been traveling to Vietnam to assist the natives. The mission not only provides the locals with needed medical care, but also aims to provide students with an environment that helps improve their clinical abilities and increase their appreciation for helping the less fortunate.
It's something that we can use in our other clinical rotations because you interact with the patients so much in that setting.
Preparation sessions are held at the college's School of Pharmacy to help students learn the language and practice different medical techniques needed for the trip. Although preparation is underway, donations are appreciated. Development Director Christopher Van Vessem has the details on how to donate.
Donate directly to the school if you send a check 3307 North Broad Street and indicated on the memo section that this is for the Vietnam mission.
The students and faculty will continue to raise money for their trip to Vietnam, but for more information, be sure to visit www.vm-co.org.
Coming up on Temple Update, students participated in a big fat Greek competition.
And I'm Tommy Sladek. I have the highlights of the thrilling baseball win over South Florida.
I'm Nicole and I'll tell you how students got more than just a game at Citizens Bank Park.
Melissa Steininger has your 5-day forecast, but will it leave you with a warm feeling inside?
Temple Update will be right back. Temple's Greek life students gathered on campus for some friendly competition. But what was the prize? Update's Amara Turay has more on the story.
The Temple University Greek Association sponsored their annual Greek Week, which showcases a variety of Temple Greek chapters competing for a grand prize and bragging rights, all in the spirit of healthy competition.
Yesterday we actually raised over 1,000 cans for Philabundance during our can creation, and today we're just simply having a social hour where organizations are having a banner contest using our Greek Week theme, which is Monsters University, to kind of put their own spin on it and show how creative they can be.
Throughout the week, each fraternity and sorority competed in a variety of events, including Greek Sing, Greek Olympics, Game Night, and Captured Flag, to name a few, with the awards ceremonies being held at the Bell Tower.
It's the one time a year where all of our organizations, all 31 chapters of fraternities and sororities get to come together and share our values. Values is something that's very important to us as fraternities and sororities, whether it be philanthropy, sisterhood, brotherhood, social, and academic as well.
This year's Greek Week champions include Phi Sigma Sigma from Panhellenic, Kappa Alpha Psi from the National Panhellenic Council, IFC co-champions Alpha Tau Omega and Kappa Sigma, and Iota Nu Delta from Multicultural Greek Council. All in all, this year's Greek Week was one for the ages. Reporting for Temple Update, I'm Amara Turay.
Next on Temple Update, Tommy Sladek tells us about the men's lacrosse scoring rampage.
And Melissa Steininger will have your weekend weather watch coming up.
Hey Owl fans, glad to have you here at the Sports Desk. I'm Tommy Sladek. The NCAA is creating a new rule that will affect all Division I student athletes. But first, this past weekend's baseball game ended in walk-off fashion. Over the weekend, the baseball team hosted UCF at Campbell's Field. Now let's head to the 5th inning, where shortstop Derek Peterson hits a bomb to the wall. The fielder is unable to make the grab and gets a face full of dirt. And look at freshman Ren Sagai scoring all the way from first. Step aside Shane Victorino, here comes the flying Hawaiian. Now to the bottom of the 9th, game tied at 5. Robert Amaro singles down the left field line, bringing in Michael Diaconi for the game winner. The Owls go on to win this thriller 6-5. Sunday's lacrosse game taught us one thing about head coach Bonnie Rosen's squad. They love warm weather. Over the weekend, the Owls hosted the Cincinnati Bearcats at Giese Field. In the first half, Rachel Schwab finds Morgan Glassford cutting across the middle to give the Owls a 3-1 lead. Then the Temple offense exploded. Jamie Tabor's penalty shot goal made her one of 14 Owls to find the back of the net. The Owls go on to win this one big, 19-3. The NCAA is making a push to make sure all Division I student athletes have access to meals. Now, this motion was in talks before UConn Shabazz Napier said in an interview he goes to bed hungry some nights. The idea behind this push is that teams will be able to order food when athletes are not able to eat, such as before or after practices.
Worry about using all your meals too soon. Like if you have like 20 meals per week, then you could kind of just, you don't have to, that takes away from worrying about having to have money to get meals when you're on the weekend or and stuff is closed. So I think that really just eases a lot of people's minds on that.
Now, the NCAA Legislative Council voted in favor of the unlimited meals, but the rule will be finalized only if the Division I Board of Directors gives the okay following their meeting next week. College students from the Philadelphia area took part in the 8th year of College Media Night with the Philadelphia Phillies. Updates Nicole Bernier went behind the broadcast with the MLB.
Students came to Citizens Bank Park earlier than usual to get a behind-the-scenes look at broadcasting inside a professional sport.
Participants from colleges like Temple and Drexel started the night listening to panelists talk about their careers in sports and their different roles within the company.
This sounds like a great opportunity to meet a lot of people that worked in the Phillies organization. As a media student, I would love to have a position with the sports team, and this is a great opportunity to meet people.
Panelists included Bonnie Clark, the Vice President of Communications, Greg Murphy, a Phillies broadcaster, Rob Brooks, the Manager of Broadcasting, and Chris Wheeler, a former Phillies TV analyst. The panelists told students how they got to where they are in the organization and some words of advice that they live by.
When you're out, say, I can do it, and let them tell you you can't do it.
Someone telling me that I wasn't going to be able to do it. And you're going to hear that in this business a lot. Don't listen to them.
Just make it happen, man. Like, forget about the obstacles. Just focus on the goal and make it happen.
Just when you think you can't, just remember, yes, I can.
After a Q&A session, students had a rare opportunity to do a press conference with Scott Profrock, the Assistant General Manager of the Phillies.
It was a great experience, being able to sit down and listen to people that I, grew up watching and listening to.
Students also spent the night taking selfies with the Phillies World Series trophies and attending the Phillies-Braves game.
There is another college media night on April 29th when the Phillies will be facing the Mets. Reporting for Temple Update, I'm Nicole Bernier.
That's all from the Sports Desk. For all the latest, be sure to follow us on Twitter at @TU_SportsDesk. Back to you guys.
Still to come on Temple Update, Melissa Steininger will have your 5-day forecast.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Last weekend I had to bring out the sunscreen because it's been a little hot, but this week it's a little chilly to go outside and catch those rays.
Well, you definitely need some color, so let's find out if this weekend will be your chance to lay out. Melissa, what do you have for us?
Well, I'm happy to say that we'll be seeing clear skies for the rest of the week. It is the perfect time of year to take advantage of Bury Beach like I did earlier, although it's not the warm as the beginning of the week. As I said earlier, today we'll see a high of 54 and mostly sunshine throughout the day. Friday we'll be seeing a high of 56 with mostly sunny skies. The temperatures will drop down to a low of 40 overnight. And moving on to the weekend, it will begin to warm up a little bit, so that's really exciting, but don't expect to see temperatures like the past weekend. We will continue to have mostly sunny skies with a chance of 66, the warmest day of the week so far. Sunday, for those of you spending the day on Easter egg hunts, we'll have another sunny day, so expect a high of 64. And to kick off the week on Monday, temperatures will warm up to a high of 68. It's the warmest we've had since we had those really hot temperatures last weekend. So make sure you start to follow us on Twitter because rain is in the future for next week, and you'll get all your weather updates with all the crazy weather that's been going on. Just follow us at TU_WeatherWatch.
That's all for Temple Update. For more news and information, check us out at templeupdate.com and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search Temple Update.
You can also watch us live on TempleTV.net, Comcast Channel 50, and Verizon Fios Channel 45. For Seth Wozniak and the rest of the Update team, I'm Jade Franks. We'll see you next time.